Hey there, Eve here from Vitamin Eve Nutrition Counseling. And today I want to talk about instant gratification and food. Because I feel in our world today, instant gratification is a real issue for a lot of people when it comes to food and eating in a lot of surprising ways. By the way, instant gratification isn't just an issue for those of us who struggled with food or struggle with food. It's an issue for a lot of people in the world today. In fact, it's one of the biggest problems that we have is that we're unable to wait or not get that instant gratification because we're so used to things immediately. And so I'm going to get that in just a minute. But before I go any further, I just wanted to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you like this content. And so let me jump in. So again, we struggle with the instant gratification issue for those of us who struggle with food in a couple of ways, okay? So whether it's that when we have an urge or a trigger that we get the food immediately, like right when we have a craving, we just jump and have the food, or we binge or feel out of control. Or if the instant gratification that we have is like we want to instantly lose weight or change our bodies immediately, suddenly be buff or whatever, we also want those types of changes immediately. Sometimes the instant gratification may feel that intense feeling if you have a discomfort feeling overly full. We feel like we have to get rid of that sensation of fullness by whether it's by going to the gym or purging in some kind of way. We feel like we have to fix things ASAP. So this instant gratification can show up in a lot of different ways, even for the same person. I know I missed something, so if you want to reply, what does your instant gratification needs? What does that look like? I'd love to hear from you. And what compounds this, what makes a lot of this even more challenging is oftentimes the instant gratification, again, isn't just around food and eating. It could also be we have instant gratification around fixing the issue as well. So not only are we struggling with our food and maybe having issues with instant gratification with our issues with food, on top of that, we want instant gratification from heal from the eating issue. That is a tricky situation, and that can make things really difficult. And I just want to let you know, this desire for instant gratification is not your fault, okay? We live in a social media world where all we see is a before and after photos. We don't see the process. I mean, we may see a few slides of the process, like they were sweating, or, you see like videos of the food they're preparing for themselves or whatever, done in this really, whoa, cute kind of way. But more or less, we watch the video in 30 seconds and basically we go from, here having the problem to here the problem is solved. So our world has become very instant gratification-y. I'm not sure if that's a word, but you know what I mean, right? And so I don't blame us for feel like we need to do it now. And by the way, it's not just social media or the videos that we watch that give us that instant gratification kind of feeling. Our world is instantly gratifying. If you want a burrito, my friend wasn't feeling well earlier today, and immediately I was able to DoorDash a burrito to this person. It was instant gratification, or if we have a question about something, we could instantly pull out our phones and Google it. Our life is a blessing that a lot of things are instant gratification-y. We get things immediately. So of course we want other things in our lives instantly. Again, and it's not just with food, by the way. This could be with, finances. I want the money now. It could be with relationship. Where are they already? It could be with other types of goals like education, trying to get a job, moving, or anything else that's important to you. This feeling of I need to get it now. And the issue with this, the problem with this instant gratification type feeling is it implies that right now is not enough. We feel like we're not enough where we're at right now. It's a way that we're telling ourselves that right now is not okay. It's an inacceptance of the current moment. How many different ways can I say that, right? The instant gratification means right now is wrong and I have to hurry up to make it right. And living in that way is a very contracted state. And when you're in a contracted state, you're not likely to be shiny and sparkly and creative and thinking of great solutions and in a great mood and happy and, being your attractive, shiny self. You're more likely to be dense, contracted, not present, distracted. It's not your best self. So learning how to work with this instant gratification thing could be extremely healing. And again, I'm not just talking about food. I really want to make that clear. I mean, I know I mostly focused on that on the work that I do, but where else in our lives do we want instant gratification? You know, I listed some things earlier, but it's also, you know, like we're feeling uncomfortable, we jump on our, you know, Instagram feed, you know, we're feeling uncomfortable and we get a drink. You know, it could be showing up in so many different ways. So this, learning how to address this need for instant gratification could be super valuable for you, for building character, for turning yourself into the person you want to be. And that's where I want to go today. I want to talk about how you could address this instant gratification in 3 simple but not so easy steps. Okay, so what are these 3 simple and not so easy steps? And I don't know if you could tell, I have my laptop here because I don't want to miss anything. The first step is to notice the trigger or the urge. You know, what does it feel like? You know, just because you have that urge and it feels like something in your body doesn't mean you have to go run and do it. So this is a really cool step, and this is a step that we've been avoiding our whole lives. It's actually being like, hey, I'm triggered right now. I have the urge right now. It's happening. Here it is. Whoa, what does it feel like in my body? So noticing the urge. What is it telling you to do? What would happen if you didn't? Just getting really curious about that urge. This could be really interesting. You know, like, what is it like for you to notice your urge? You know, what are you like when you're in your triggered state? Like, oh, cool, this is Eve being triggered. What is it like? What does it bring up for me? Oh my goodness, I feel so weak, or it feels so strange or uncomfortable. Oh, I feel urgent, or whatever it feels like for you. You know, I want you to get to know that urge. You know, nothing is wrong. And just because the urge is there, it doesn't mean you have to fix it immediately. And I want you to know that our children, our youth these days, by the way, are, you know, I think have the hardest time with this because they were born into an immediate gratification world. You know, at least back in the day, you know, we didn't have phones. So, you know, it wasn't that we had to wait or walk to the nearest payphone. You know, there was no Google, or, you know what I mean? We had to, remember pagers? Oh my goodness. Okay, anyway, right? So the world has changed. So immediate gratification is the thing, and having that urge to get what we want right now, if we don't get it right now, sitting with that feeling of not getting what you want right now. It could be so helpful to breathe, to be curious, you know, just this is where the juice is at. I jumped in with the hardest step. I promise it gets easier from here, but I really wanted to take some time to get into being with the trigger, being with the urge, sitting there and feeling it. You know, nobody knows how to do this. It's not just those of us who struggle with food. Dude, nobody knows how to do this. Look at everybody, they're on their phones. Okay, look, I'm not phone bashing, but just look around. You can see you're not alone in having this challenge, right? But good for you for being here and, you know, figuring out how to address it. So the second step is connect with what you want. I went to a workshop and they kept on saying, well, what do you want? And we had to answer. What do you want? We had to answer. What do you want? We had to answer. We had to keep on answering the question, what do you want? And it was a powerful exercise to say it out loud again and again and again. So the step 2 is, what do you want? Who do you want to be? What's next for you? What would be in your highest good? And nobody could answer this for you. But what do you want? Who do you want to be? Take a moment for yourself and keep on saying it out loud. I want blank. I want to be free when it comes to food. I want to be able to live my life and not worry about food. Or I want to feel comfortable in my body no matter where I go. Or I want to feel safe around food in any situation. Or I want to be free of food. I mean, we need to eat to survive, but you know, I want to be free of my food challenge. I want to be free. I want to have food peace. I want food peace. I want food peace. Whatever it is, repeat it to yourself again and again. Hear yourself say it. And hey, even in the moment when you're triggered, hey, if you say it out loud, that's even more powerful than doing all this internal thing, you know, to do it out loud. I challenge you, you know, this is serious. This is your life. As much as I like to think that this is just the first round, there is no second round. I mean, depends on what you believe in, and that's a whole nother conversation, and maybe we'll get there later. But for now, it's like, okay, who do you want to be? You know, connect with what you want. And by the way, I'm not judging you. I hope you know I am not judging you, because heaven knows, okay? So there's no judgment here. where I'm coming from is not from a place of judgment at all. It's from a place of desire for you, for knowing you could have what you want. And so that's why I'm pushing you here, right? And the third step is to choose, is to acknowledge you're making a choice. And hey, if you can't handle it without using food, or if you need to buy it off of Amazon right now, or if you need to take the puff off of your vape or whatever it is, dude, I hear that too, right? And if you're gonna choose that, make it a conscious choice. Or are you gonna choose the alternative, what you haven't been choosing, or choosing what you wanna be choosing, or what your soul knows is right for you? Could you choose that? And when you choose, try to do it with as little attachment as possible. When you choose, let it go. Do your best. Oftentimes we feel like our choices have to be this grand thing. And I just learned something recently today, and I want to share it with you. In the Hebrew language, the word happiness comes from the same word as planting, as in planting a seed. And I thought that was so brilliant. It was so interesting that we're most happy when we're planting a seed. And what's interesting about planting a seed is the opposite of instant gratification, right? You plant a seed, it takes a while for it to grow, right? So when you come to make this choice, just realize you'll be most happy when you're planting a seed towards the garden that you want. You're not making the garden here and now. You're not solving all of the food issues and, spending your time at the gym or whatever healing means to you. You know what I mean? But you're planting a seed in that direction. I know that's not glamorous. I know that's not what we see on Instagram. I know that's not what we see on TV. I know that's not what gives us that rush, that dopamine rush. It's not gonna be a dopamine rush. We're like addicted to the dopamine rush. And when you buy something off of Instacart and the things sparkle, like that was so fun. Our phone buzzes too. It's so like such a dopamine rush. But this is the opposite of that. Planting seeds, if you've ever done it before, is very non-glamorous. You literally put a little thing into dirt. It's the opposite of instant gratification. It's slow. It's real. It's in real life. None of us are in real life right now. We're walking around watching cartoons on our phone all day, right? So that's why it could be such a challenge. It's forcing you to focus. It's forcing you to wait. It's forcing you to feel whatever is present. None of this stuff is easy. I said they were simple, but not easy steps. And the final thing I want you to know is whatever you choose, I love you. And I hope that you could love you. This is all for learning. Do your best, and you're doing your best. I know you are. If you're watching this video and you made it this far, heaven knows you are trying. You are here. And you are doing it, and it takes time. And not every choice has to be perfect. Not every choice has to be, la 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 and in alignment with like your highest self. As much as I wish all of my choices would be that, they are not always, and they don't have to be. To get where you want to go, just gotta kind of aim in that direction the best that you can, and have great forgiveness for yourself, or mercy, or compassion for yourself as you plant your seeds. And as long as you're planting seeds, that is a root of happiness and satisfaction in your own life. So again, if this video was helpful for you, I'd love to hear from you. Also, I invite you to subscribe. I also invite you to share this video with others. Let's get out of this world of judgment and eating in a way that we, should be eating, and, judging our bodies and, being all caught up. Let's get real. And for people in your life that are also real, share this video. I'd love to have them as part of my world. And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for watching, and happy eating, everybody. Bye.